Dah, dah. Tapi tak buat. Buat setahun. Dah. Oh.
Test one, test two.
Wah.
You have to hear us now? How's it sound? Can you hear it? Test. Yes, but it's muffled. Okay. You hear the sound, but it's muffled.
Dapat. Lah, dah.
How does it sound without the microphone? Testing now the audio without the microphone. How's that sound without the microphone?
Go back and check on YouTube and make sure it's
Test one, test two. No, it's still running, but it sounds muffled still. Test one, test two. Sound. Testing.
Yeah.
Someone's saying it's still muffled. They can hear it, but it's still muffled. Testing. Test one, test two. Wait on. Hold on. Sorry, we're still having some technical issues. All right, this is sounding better. Okay. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Okay. Thank you for patience. So we're going to talk about some impacts of social media on our mental health. Let's have some hands raised. How does social media impact you? Some symptoms include anxiety, depression, sadness, obsessive thoughts, comparing yourself to others, or perhaps, does it increase your self-esteem or decrease it? Any of these symptoms, do you notice them? Have you been bullied online? Social media also can create addiction. You can obsess over it. You just need to know what happens and not be able to disconnect. Have any of you experienced that? Who's experienced that? Okay, so comments from the audience, people saying yes, overwhelmingly people are saying yes. Yep, more agreement. Now I'm seeing a lot of yeses in the room. So how do you feel having lived through that experience? Comment from the audience when we say anxious or depressed, just overthinking things. And over here? Yeah, around a month ago, I was living near the fires, and they were coming closer, and they were sending out all these warnings, and the fire department was there, but I'm unable to hear, so I wasn't sure I was going to be able to escape on time if I needed to. Watching your really negative impact. Watching the news making me paranoid, and it was 4 blocks away from me. The wildfire last month. Another comment over here. Okay. Yeah, it really affects people who have bipolar disorder. It can maybe make them feel less settled, maybe just really not well mentally. Sometimes when I'm driving, I get a warning come up on my phone that somebody has robbery that's happened in the area, crimes that are in the area, or like silver alert, amber alert. Those notifications making you paranoid. Yes, I'm sure all of us have experienced that. Another comment down here in the front. Yeah, some people because really have depression, can really impact your life and your mental health and create challenges. Absolutely. So, why set boundaries? Why are boundaries important? Well, it will help you manage your stress better. It will help you manage your thoughts, and it will help you not feel so much pressure because you'll have a boundary there, and you'll be like, don't cross my boundary. I'm in control of what I do. Have any of you experienced setting boundaries with friends or maybe strangers? In general, have any of you experienced setting a boundary? Comment over here, yes. Yes, I have had that experience, and it helped me to feel more spiritually connected. My energy was better. It just really was good for me. It helped me know what I needed to do better. And another comment, yeah, it's something to learn. You need to set those boundaries so that, family who are crossing those boundaries don't do that. Also getting outside, going to the park, getting some fresh air, going sightseeing, those are all good boundaries. Yeah. Another comment? Someone saying, yeah, I understand what boundaries are, but a lot of people have weak boundaries. They're not firm.
It's true.
I want to know how to set strong, firm boundaries.
That's a good point. How to make those boundaries firm. Sometimes, weak boundaries can also negatively impact your mental health. You feel frustrated, you feel anxious. When you have a firm boundary, it can really protect your mental health, make you feel more secure, more stable.
From the audience, news on your computer, the Trump presidency, emergencies, alerts. You need to separate yourself from that at some point. You can read a book, something that's really enjoyable, something like that. And that's also not going to have that blue light. It's going to affect your sleep.
Absolutely. You can always close the laptop and find something that you enjoy that makes you feel calm, like reading a book, journaling, talking with a good friend, spending time with family, people you love. Yes, I absolutely agree.
So I think, try to think positively, be optimistic. Another comment, I go to the mall and actually went a couple days ago, and I felt like it was a group of 4 people, and I was with my friends and we all happened to be white, but this was a really diverse crowd previously. And now I feel like I don't see those diverse folks. I don't see people of different races. I feel like they're in hiding now, right? So I feel like there's also a lot of people who are, anyway, I like to go with my friends, and that's really healthy for me.
Now, what do you think you should do if you are confronting those challenges with social media, toxic behaviors or impacts? Like, for example, let's say you see a post and you see a picture of yourself. It creates a lot of negative feelings. You're seeing negative comments. How do you intercept that experience? Let's say it's Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. What would you do next if you were in that situation?
So I can call 988 on my phone, and that's for a suicide hotline, and also for crimes. There's also deaf people who can be supportive of those needs.
Yeah.
I see fake things that are put online, also people who are catfishing or making up fake profiles, things like that, and then they'll also steal your picture and put that on their profile.
Yes, you can block them. You can block them. You can click block, and then you don't have to look at that anymore, and that can make you feel better. Absolutely. Blocking them is a great option.
So, from the audience, some stuff comes through on my video phone as well from certain people, and if I don't like their negative comments, I'll just block that number.
Absolutely, you can block them. And someone in the back.
Well, for services and needs, I feel like some things might make me feel bad about myself. For example, I will put information online, I'll post pictures, but I don't necessarily like to do that. And I try not to post anything negative, I just always try to post positive stuff. And, I feel like I just try to be positive. And also, or things like that, but to make sure to communicate with the people who I'm going to post pictures of.
Yeah, it's important to have that rapport, to try to resolve things with someone, and then if it's not working, go ahead and take a break from them, ignore them, block them, and just don't respond to the negativity. Don't trade videos back and forth, just opt to ignore it. So the block, or you can actually mute people as well. That means that you won't see their activity on your feed. That's a great option. You can also report. If someone's posting something that's not right and you're concerned, you can go ahead and report it to the platform. And also you can take a break from your laptop or your phone and just focus on yourself and partake in some self-care. So let's discuss different kinds of boundaries you can set. There's a variety that you can utilize. So you have privacy boundaries. You can allow certain permissions to different folks to be able to see your post, to comment on your post, decide who can interact with your post, and take away access from other people. You can have privacy on your own platform. You can also set boundaries with your time. You can set limits, like some of you may have experienced losing a lot of time on your phone. For example, TikTok, which is extremely popular, is a newer platform which is extremely addictive. It can be helpful to set a hard time limit and connect with an inner sense of calm and peace, aside from that. Go out and do things that make you feel better instead of getting lost inside your phone. Maybe set a limit of 5 minutes or an hour. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, setting a time limit on social media or taking certain days of the week off completely.
Yeah, some people are saying yes in the audience. Yep, another person says, yep, I do that. However, I do have problems with that addiction, so I'm kind of wondering, like, what's going on online, but I'm doing it too much. So I need to make sure that I learn to set those firm boundaries and just stop and give myself a break. Most of the time I don't, though.
Yeah, sometimes it's not helpful. Sometimes we cheat and go over the time limit, but you have to really stick to that hard limit. It's really hard. I'm sure a lot of us have struggled with that. You have to really have that self-control.
Yeah, comments in the audience. Yeah, like when I go to the restroom, I'll make sure I don't take my phone with me. And then I make sure that I put it down at certain times. I've been doing that for a while.
Over here.
Yeah, so when I get to work, I see a bunch of notifications, but I make sure that I ignore those until I've done everything I need to do, and then I'll make sure that I do whatever I need to be done before I look at those notifications. Another person saying, I get too many calls. Make sure that I just silence my phone or turn it off for a certain time of day. Do what I need to get done, and then when I'm ready to catch up with any information that I need to, then I can turn my phone back on. But it's better to have those notifications off.
Yes, and I'd love to add something to that. You just mentioned like that choice between work and phone. You have to really look at your priorities, finish the things you need to do, and then just look at your phone in your like free time. Absolutely.
Another comment. Yeah, a friend of mine was calling me non-stop. And I had a lot of stuff to do. I had to go to the store. I had to hang out with other friends. And this other friend who was calling me got really angry that I wasn't responding. And I said, I'm sorry, but I'm very busy. And some folks just don't understand that. So I just kind of have to put that to the side.
Yes, all of you are absolutely right. All your personal experiences and how you set boundaries. I'm completely supportive of that. Now we are going to have an activity. So you guys can stay seated and just throw out ideas. We're going to go through some situations and then you think about what you would do if you were in that situation. Like if I had to confront this specific scenario, what would I do? I'll go ahead and go first. We will explain what happened, we'll set up the scenario, and you guys can think about what you would do, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
So what would you do in this situation? So this is the scenario. The name of it is Too Many Tags. Do you know what that is? Like if your name is tagged in something on Facebook or Instagram, you get notifications that your name is tagged in something. So Too Many Tags. So let me go ahead and talk to you about the story, which is totally made up. It's just supposed to be an example so that you can think about what you would do in this scenario. So Riley enjoys using social media to share fun moments and personal experiences with friends, like traveling photos and things like that on social media. But Riley's friend Jordan keeps tagging them in things, in different topics like politics and controversial things, and it feels really negative. Riley's phone is constantly getting blown up, and Riley just is feeling unsettled by this dynamic. And even though Riley has asked Jordan to stop tagging them, because they're not interested in those kinds of posts, they don't want to be involved in political discussions, Jordan ignores them and just keeps tagging them. in comment sections. And this is making Riley feel uncomfortable because their friend is ignoring them and continuing to create these unsettled feelings. So if you were in this position, what would you do?
Okay, someone from the audience says, I would block them, and that's it. I don't need to be looking at that stuff. Okay, another comment? Yeah, I would disconnect with that friend. Okay, another person says, if someone is continually emailing me and tagging me, I would just block them.
Yes.
Another comment, well, Facebook has a setting where you can control who can tag you, and who can, and you can turn that off, and you can block people as well. Oh, can you actually repeat that again? Yeah, so Facebook has a setting where you can control people who can post or who can tag you, and you can remove those folks, not allow them to have those abilities, and they can also not see your tags. So someone's asking you, does Facebook control tags?
Yes. Facebook does have certain settings and controls, like you can mute people, which means you don't see their posts. It's not a full block. It just sort of silences them. Or you can also unfollow, but you can still, they still follow you, but you just don't see their posts. And that can be better for you personally, just to not see someone else's posts.
Okay, another comment says you can add more mute for 30 days. There's options for that or snooze. You can set it off for a month. And then when it comes back on, you can see whether or not you're interested at that point, and then you can use it again. Yeah, or you just not participate in that.
Yeah. And one over here.
Someone says, I have a question. So, boundaries may seem easy, but it's actually hard. For example, if you work with a person and you have to see them all the time, can you actually cut ties with them? You may feel kind of awkward if you're seeing them at work or a setting that you have to be in all the time with them. How do you do that in a nice way that's courteous?
I know the deaf community is really small. I know it can sometimes be difficult. You have conflicts like you work together or you used to work with someone or you're on a team with someone in some setting. You can still set a professional boundary and really focus on the work you have together, not focus on personal stuff with that person. You can just maintain professionalism, and if you continue to feel discomfort, you can let a superior know. Sometimes it's hard in the deaf community because it's like, oh, I know everyone, but sometimes people have friction and you have to still find a way to set a boundary. You can limit how much information you share with that person. You can just check in with your own comfort level with that individual. Okay, so we have another activity. The next slide. Okay. So we're going to talk about a scenario about body shaming. So this person's name is Devin. They enjoy sharing pictures on social media and posting their status updates and what they're up to. But recently they've noticed people underneath the pictures, people will leave comments that are increasingly negative about Devin. Some people are making fun of Devin about their body, and people have even started a group chat making negative comments about Devin's body. And at first, Devin tried to say it's no big deal, tried to ignore it, but the comments are persistent and they're not stopping. Devin is starting to feel pretty diminished, unsafe, and is not feeling like posting more things about themselves online. So if you were Devin, what would you do? People are teasing you, making fun of you about your body. How would you resolve that?
Yeah, it's a comment from the audience saying, yeah, this actually happened last night. There was a comment, and I was willing to engage with somebody, but then a problem came up about money, and they just kept going, and I felt really uncomfortable with this scenario, and it made me feel really not good. And so I just left.
Yeah, honesty, being blunt. Hey, your comment is making me uncomfortable. hey, your comment is not supporting me as a person. Please stop. That's a good way to set a boundary, absolutely. Any other ideas?
A comment from the audience. If a person is talking really negatively about somebody in front of me, but kind of behind their back, sometimes I'll ask them what's going on if they're talking negative about me. And I'll say, hey, can you please resolve this in person with me rather than posting about it online? You know what? And then also I can delete those comments. That usually works for me.
Good. So this is more strategic approach. You can send a private message to meet one-on-one to say, hey, that comment is not appropriate, instead of just contributing in the group setting, which could trigger more of a negative back and forth, starting a war. Sometimes online I see on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see two deaf people go back and forth in the comments, and I'm just spectating. Have you guys seen that before?
A lot of people are saying, yeah,
That is mind-blowing.
very common.
Okay.
Yeah, someone in the audience is saying, yeah, on Facebook, they'll maybe be a friend, and I'll be talking with them on the video phone, and they'll be saying a lot of really negative, nasty things. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. I don't have the energy for this. And I will just tell them, you know, I'm not interested. And I'll just turn it off. Because I don't want to hear all this negative stuff, especially not about myself. So I've just decided to disengage and not go with the discussion. I just turn my video phone off, and then if they try to go back and forth with me on the video phone or on Facebook, maybe on the messenger or chat, and be childish. You know, if you're really immature, I just tell them, you know, you need to grow up. That makes me feel, it really affects me negatively, really steals my energy, and I just feel like I can't look at it. I delete it, and I don't look at it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Some people's comments, you know, but some people say, well, that's deaf culture. Deaf culture is blunt. Deaf culture is honest. But if it's making people feel diminished, unsettled, causing anxiety, to have doubt about myself, it's not good. So we still need to have boundaries about that, especially with family and friends. We have to. Out of curiosity, is anyone here comfortable with blocking friends or family if need be?
Someone saying, yeah, you have to sometimes. If they just keep going at you, it's not good for us. It's not good for our health. And it's the other person who needs to understand and realize that they need to stop. But it's difficult for some people, especially those who, you know, are really narcissistic. I see that trait pretty often.
Yes, narcissistic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I most frequently see as a problem with my particular family. Other issues are there as well.
What was that last part? I saw a hand over here now. And then over here in the room? Mm-hmm.
Comment from the audience. If they're posting things about my body, maybe body shaming me, what I do is I just click report. If they're insulting me about my body, I just click report. Yep, and that's it. And if that doesn't work, then I will go ahead and block that person. And if that doesn't work, maybe it's better to take another step and, you know, make sure that I'm doing my self-care and then focus on my own health.
Yes. Some people may feel awkward and feel like, well, that's my friend, we grew up together. Some people feel like, well, that's family, we have to be close, and that's not necessarily true. Like this audience member said, sometimes you really have to set a firm boundary, not a weak boundary, even if they're a friend or a family member.
A comment. A few months ago, this really annoyed me. My ex kept sending me messages about silly things. And so I told them, no, stop it. I'm not interested. Please stop sending me these messages. They wouldn't do it. So what I did was I reported them, but they went around that report and that block and to other accounts. So I just blocked them on everything. So I'm just trying to figure out why this happened.
Yes. So what if that person finds new ways to reach you or creates new profiles and continues messaging you or leaving comments? If it's really that persistent, I don't know, at some point you have to take legal action. Honestly, a restraining order. If you know their name, you know who they are, you know their address, go ahead. Sometimes you have to. Whatever you have to do to take your power back and to protect your joy and happiness.
Another comment, if they keep doing it, that's really cyberbullying at that point. and you have a right to actually sue for damages, for defamation at that point. So that's, maybe they'll learn a lesson at that point.
It's true. Now we have the internet, we're super connected through social media, it's a big part of our lives. Now new laws are becoming enacted. Maybe there's a law that I even don't know of that's new. Honestly, if you don't know if there's a law about something, you can ask LAD. They have advocates here that can help you protect yourself. If you're facing a situation like this, you can always get support at LAD.
Yeah, another comment. I'm wondering, so AI, can we trust AI? Sometimes there's a logo that says it's AI. I don't know if we can trust it, I'm never sure.
So someone's asking about AI. Do we trust it or not? And I actually agree. AI is an extremely new technology, and personally, I use AI. I use it for work. It saves me time. But AI can hurt people. AI can spread misinformation.
And can it be fake?
AI is still very new. It's important that we as a community continue to have an open dialogue and to keep figuring out what's good or not good about it. It's so new, so we're still learning a lot. But we have power. It has power to create new possibilities, and it also has power to destroy.
So, what is AI? Can you clarify that for me?
Who here is familiar with AI?
Yeah, like robots, right? They can help you with different stuff.
So let me go ahead and talk about what AI is. So AI is artificial intelligence, or AI for short. And basically, it is a robot. It's a robot that is trying to mimic humans. So you can ask AI a question, AI will respond. You can. You can ask it to make you a poster about deaf culture for Instagram, and it will give you one. You can make up pictures, you can make videos, you can say, AI, I want you to make me a movie about Hamas surfing, and it will. And you can post it to Instagram, you can post it to Facebook. And I'm like, that's not me. But it's really popular now. There's a lot of AI videos about President Trump online, and maybe you see that on your phone or tablet and you think, did he really say that? Did that really happen? And it can be really difficult to tell. So that means that all of us have to suspend disbelief, do your homework, check your sources, research, ask people that you trust, and make a decision for yourself. And it's really not easy.
Yeah, you have to think twice, and you have to do a little research when you do something like that.
Exactly, because what you see online can be fake now. Yes.
Another comment, someone saying, you can also check with the Daily Mob. They report on the news, and that's trusted.
Yeah.
They have all the information that you can trust there. And then how do you remove AI? How do you get rid of it?
Ooh, AI now is really embedded into Instagram and Facebook. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So things have changed. It's going to continue to change the way we live and our life from this point forward. It's a new technology. Some people are afraid of AI. You know, right now we control AI, but some people are afraid of one day AI starting to make decisions for humanity and sort of taking over. It's a tough situation. We'll have to see. It's scary.
Very scary.
It is scary.
Another comment, yeah, there's a lot of like cars, like auto-driving cars now. Like, where are we going with this technology? It's going to be driving for me. Another person is saying, yeah, one big news item that got spread was about Trump and Elon, who were firing all the federal employees, and they're really trying to downsize the federal government. And Elon Musk has put in AI instead of those federal employees.
It's true.
And Elon is trying to figure out, you know, how he can really enrich himself and profit from that.
Right? Replacing people with AI, taking away their jobs. That's right.
Yeah, another commenter saying, yeah, 8 months ago my brother was working somebody came in and stole their identity and posted a bunch of fake stuff about them having killed themselves, and now, but it's very dangerous. So it really affected my brother's health. He's very ill now.
Thank you for sharing that.
So yeah, there are pros and cons to AI for sure. You know, the bots can copy us and mimic us, and that can be good or bad. Like, if you're trying to work on your English grammar, AI can offer editing suggestions, and that can really help us with our English, and that's a good thing about AI.
It's true. It's true. It's important. It's really important that we go slowly at our own pace. Don't just jump in and trust AI completely. You know, proceed with caution, think it through, and do your research. Okay, and I think we are ready for the next slide. Okay, I hope you all are enjoying the brainstorming and the discussion. I hope that you're enjoying the exercises. We're going to move on. So how do you build a positive personal space with strong boundaries? How do you create that positive space for yourself?
Well, you mean like meditating? Like GLAD also has advertisements, and they let you know about the social events that are happening in the community. Another person is saying, only follow who I want to be in my personal online space. Yeah, make sure that you trust those people who you follow.
Yeah. For example, sometimes on social media I see things that are happening in the world. It feels really negative. And so I go ahead and I build my own personal online space. You mentioned meditating. You can also go outside. You can take a break from technology and actually turn off your devices and practice self-care, focusing on yourself, and making sure that you feel comfortable, happy, uplifted, feeling good. Sometimes when we're on social media, or for me personally, I get online and then I don't feel well. And so I just try to focus more on my mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health, and make sure that I'm well. Wellness is really important, doing self-care first.
A comment from the audience, you really have to set make sure your mindset is right and your boundaries are strong, and just go to maybe the park, go for a walk, meditate, go to the gym. That really helps me get more energized and to also keep my mindset good and make sure that my boundaries are set. And if I don't do that, then I'm going to have setbacks for sure.
Yeah, and that's why we're here today. We want to support you and make sure that you guys have, for example, we've been brainstorming about support groups for trauma, grief, especially, or even just coping with what we're seeing online, because all of us are having the same experience. We just want to make sure you feel comfortable, that you have mutual respect, and having interactions that lift you up. Like, you know, when I go to the gym, it's like going to the gym. I feel good when I go to the gym, and then I want to share that experience and help you guys to build those positive boundaries and personal space. I just want to add something here. So building a positive space, I think this is really, really important. I don't know if you know cookies, the cookies acronym.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
If you Google something like, I'm looking for someone to train my dog, and then you see Facebook ads about dog trainers. And that's really interesting, right? On Instagram, you'll see those same ads after you Googled something. It's like, how do they know? They know through something called cookies that are sharing your personal information between all these websites. It's true. So Facebook and Instagram, they have technology. They have an algorithm that affects the ads that you see. And some people see that on, like your phone, when people are talking near their phone can also listen to them. and then it can feed them advertisements about what they were talking about. I wasn't sure that I believed that, but one time I was signing, and then I was getting ads about what I had been talking about. So I don't know, even if signed.
Someone from the audience said, so it knows ASL?
That's AI. That's AI watching and analyzing my sign. I don't know. I don't know. That's scary. So protect yourself. Have good boundaries.
Another comment says, yes, talking about cookies. I saw something on my computer and it popped up there and it suggested, do you suggest that you click on them? I didn't. I made sure that I was closing them. Should I click on them or should I not? I usually just close it. Usually there's 3 options. Close, agree, or not agree. You know, talking about cookies and permissions.
So it really depends on you. So it's a site, you can approve settings in the site, meaning you're giving it permission to share your information, your history, where you have been online, to share it with that website. So I just want to go ahead and clarify and add to his point. So for example, I'll be scrolling on Instagram looking for something for my daughter, like something to wear, and then I'll get ads letting me know. And honestly, I don't mind. It's like I'll be like, oh my gosh, the princess dress I was looking for. So that actually gives me a positive feeling. Sometimes I'm looking for something like a different food item or different things like that, how to make pizza, different recipes. And then I'll get ads about that, and I actually feel, that makes me feel happy. I'm like, that's what I need. And then I go cook what I was looking for. So he mentioned, sometimes it can be positive. It really just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to create more positivity in your life, just notice the way it makes you feel. For example, maybe you are looking for a quote, or you have like positive quotes come up on your phone, like, you are amazing, you are confident, you got this. You can get that little quote and you say thank you, and you're ready to start your day. It can be really cool. That's a positive way that technology can affect your life and impact your attitude and thoughts in a positive way. So that's important to add too. And I see a question in the back.
Yeah, so what that person was asking about the cookies and whether you allow or don't allow. So you can reject or allow permissions. I typically reject those permissions, reject all, because I don't want more personal information of mine shared out online that doesn't need to be there.
Yes.
That's what I usually do.
And that's right. I tend to give permission for cookies, or I'll give permission like for automatic notifications. Like if I'm searching for something negative, and then my feed would be full of negative stuff. So if I see a cookie, I just make sure that I'm searching for positive things and then allowing permissions for those kinds of things. I can control it that way too. Again, in general, social media platforms and technology have positives and negatives that you have to navigate your way through.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, you're talking about cookies. Can a hacker come in through those cookies?
Ooh, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I have not experienced that. I don't know.
Another comment from the audience. So on Facebook, I'll have a friend who I'm already connected with, and then I'll see a second request for that same friend come up, and I always look at the account and I see, okay, they still have their first account and we're friends still. And sometimes I'll look and I'll try to figure out like, hey, is this maybe a fake account? Or, sometimes hackers will get in that way through a fake account.
It's possible. I mean, social media and the internet, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Sometimes it feels like kind of tough to know if it's right or wrong.
And another person is saying, yeah, I remember a friend was telling me, and I wasn't sure if it was real or not, but it's been bugging me. So talking about cookies, sometimes I was on my iPad, right? And I'm just looking at stuff, playing around, and then something will come up about cookies, and like you were talking about before, and I'll click reject. And the reason for that is because the cookies can sometimes be a scam, or it can be trying to look into my account. So generally, I don't trust that kind of stuff, especially with the advent of AI. I just am really distrustful of stuff that I see online now. So I just try to make sure that that's what Meta is not being able to track me on my phone and X. So that's been bugging me for a long time. I'm not feeling comfortable with that, but no wonder, right? It can be AI sometimes. But as far as cookies, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's also like problematic, if I can trust that message or not.
Yeah, it's tough.
And so another comment, someone saying cookies online, you'll see those pop up. And I always click reject personally. When I do that, my computer will freeze up a lot. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, fine, I'll allow. And then it's very smooth. The pages load when I don't reject. So,
Interesting. So these are different kinds of self-care practices. You can focus on physical, mental, spiritual, intellectual, your environment, social, and even financial health. Does anyone want to share an experience for navigating self-care? For example, physical health. What do you do to care for yourself physically? What are some self-care activities for physical health?
people are saying go for a walk.
Walking, exercising. No, I'll let him copy sign.
Yeah, go for a walk. Yeah, it's really good for me.
Other physical self-care activities?
I go to the mall. I enjoy doing that. You don't have to buy anything. You can just kind of window shop. It's just good for your mental health. And it keeps me thinking positive thoughts. I just walk around. Maybe I will buy some stuff, but it's a nice environment to be in. And people watch too, and that really helps me to feel more calm and settled and peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Another person saying, I love drawing and art. And I may be doing crafting, I'll sew different things. I have a wide variety of interests in terms of crafting and hobbies. And my goal is to set up a shop in the future to be able to sell my crafts.
That's exciting. Fingers crossed for you. Okay, so mental self-care. What do you do for mental self-care?
Yeah, for mental, my goal is to really set up a plan for myself. And I'll do a checklist and make sure that I have everything on my goals list.
Mm-hmm.
For mental stuff, I'll write down when my doctor's appointments are. I'll make sure that I send stuff out all the time.
Mm-hmm. Organization.
Yeah, and I'll set notifications. Another person is saying, I'll journal. Really get my feelings out that way.
Yes.
I play cards. Maybe 1, 2, 3 times a week. Just get together and talk and play cards. It's very nice. Someone's saying most of the time, meditating, reading, praying, that's very helpful. It really helps with resilience.
Okay, and what about emotional self-care? What do you do to take care of yourself emotionally?
Time out.
Time out, okay.
Watch the sunset, go out for a walk, go out someplace. Well, I'll take an emotional time out, but I don't know how to do that.
If you're feeling stressed, maybe you're crying more than usual, it's just being able to take a break. And practice positive self-talk, just to yourself, try to engage yourself, do some breathing, do some counting, like doing a count to 4 and breathing in and then breathing out. It's like that emotional time out, just taking a second away from others, away from your phone or an event, and just taking a moment to yourself.
Another comment from the audience, well, sometimes I'm feeling very stressed and overthinking stuff, and I'm like, I have all this to do, and instead what I'll do is I'll go on a hike. I'll go out, in nature, or I might draw, or go to art, but catch up with my goals also, and think about what my future plans are.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, what about spiritual self-care?
Comment from the audience, someone saying meditate, go to church, whatever religious affiliation, go to your services. I go to, my house is very distracting, so sometimes I will pray. I feel like there's a lot of distracting things, so I try to meditate and focus the word during those times. And then the glasses really bother me, so I try to work with that as well.
Okay, and what about intellectual self-care? What do you do for that? Reading a book, math, messing with numbers. It can be like Legos, like doing that kind of activities. Puzzles.
Yeah, just like kind of drawing. I have some dots that I like to draw. I'll go visit family. But I think the most important thing is just to be positive. And the person saying, I try to read positive books, things that have a nice message to them. I also bought a course, Miracles course, and it had a list of a lot of sayings and messages, and there's a lot more to it, so it's pretty profound.
Interesting. Okay. What about environment? How do you practice self-care through your environment? What do you do to take care of yourself?
Well, I hang out with friends. Typically I like to go out by myself, have some solitude. Dr. Shoma saying, get some plants, garden. Sometimes I don't trust people who are out in the environment, in the world around me. It kind of depends on who's out there. But I feel more like I do try to get out there and do that a bit more and meditate, be peaceful.
Okay, one more here.
Comment. I just saw something that it was an AI, I guess it was a robot message, and that there's more AI bots out there, and that's really negative.
Okay, and what about social self-care? What do you guys do?
Right here. It's a good example of a social event right now.
Yes.
Another comment. Well, you call someone on a video phone and you're going through the interpreter, maybe there's a recording, and those annoying phone trees, and I always tell the interpreter, I want to talk to a live person. I don't want to talk to those darn recordings and those phone trees. I prefer to just talk to a person. Another comment, someone saying, I suggest GLAAD should set up different themed social events, maybe like that's the one they have, but I think there should be more variety of social events that GLAAD hosts, not just the bingo or the card day. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's a good note. Okay, now financial self-care. What do you do for financial self-care?
Well, I try to make sure that I control my spending. Another comment, make sure that I always have enough to pay my bills and I don't feel overwhelmed, and make sure that I can work enough to pay all those bills.
Yeah, budget is a great way to practice financial self-care. Setting a financial schedule, having a spreadsheet, that can really help your mental health a lot. To know where your money's going, and also to have savings, to have financial goals, can help you feel more relaxed. Having money set aside, financial self-care can really help you learn how to set boundaries and be organized with money. So today we've had a lot of brainstorming and discussion on how to set robust boundaries. And the reason why you want to set boundaries is to protect your mental health, ultimately. Boundaries can help all of us think more clearly, to feel more positive, to have more motivation and self-worth. After you set boundaries, it can help you with self-care and in general help you do well in life. If you don't set boundaries, you might find yourself stuck in negative spirals, confronting a lot of stress, bullying, confrontation, which can create sadness and conflict. And if you don't set those boundaries, those things can happen. And that's why we're here to just help you brainstorm of how to set boundaries and take care of yourself to help you feel more relaxed and to move forward. Because sometimes boundaries will be difficult to set. It's not easy. It can be very hard. So I just want to tell you right now, it's not easy. But through your personal experiences and navigating these long scenarios today, you can start practicing. So right now, it's right here in your memory. Put this in the back of your mind. Social media can be really cool. It can be really good. It can be positive. But remember, you have the power. You have the control. You are in charge of what social media can offer you as a tool, like accessibility, access to information, things like that. But make sure that you set those personal boundaries so that you stay in control of social media. Okay. Now, if you're curious about getting resources for help, we have that here. GLAD has a mental health program here for you. We offer 12 sessions, one-on-one, also couples counseling or family counseling, children's counseling, to give you tools, for example, and resources. So for example, wanting to learn self-advocacy, GLAD can teach you that, and really just hear you out and help you express yourself. And if you want more support on how to set boundaries with friends or family or social media, we have many resources.
If you're interested in joining that program for counseling for mental health at GLAD, you need to set appointments. And we just started this program. And remember, Junko, who started introduced this, she's going to be the coordinator, myself, as well as Dr. Tomas. We are the counselors, Junko's the coordinator. And so we're here for you, really. What about people who are experiencing issues with substance use or substance use disorder? We have referrals for help for that. And it's called SAMHSA, SAMHSA, as well as if you're working with us and our hours don't work for you, like we're here Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, you can also call 988. That's a lifeline, and that can really help and be supportive with you. And they have VP access, is that correct? Yes, they do. They have video phone access. You can speak directly to someone, not through an interpreter. They also have 24/7 text and chat support. Also, the Deaf Crisis Line, that's deaf-led and needs to be, and they have sign services as well. If you need to talk with them, there's a video phone number for them as well. You're going to get direct access to them, and you can get more support that way. So the information, is that on the GLAD website? Yeah, I believe it is. And if not, we can post it on Facebook as well, and you can look at the GLAD website as well. Or we can maybe have a handout. Another question from the audience. For those who are getting services from GLAD, mental health services, is it for kids too? Like, especially for, like you go into school and do presentations? I'd really like more kids to know that there's a lot of, bullying and unfortunately people in their lives. And I'm hoping that deaf kids are able to get more help as well. Yeah, we do work with a variety of ages, absolutely. If you feel you're not sure, you can, send someone the information and refer them to contact GLAD. But under the age of 12, someone has to have parental permission. Over the age of 12, they can actually do it counseling on their own. Any other questions?
So I just want to know what percentage of different kinds of therapy, I know we're trying to save different kinds of people. So for example, people that are trying to kill themselves, what percentage of people are trying to kill themselves? What percentage of people are stating that? Things like that. I really need to know. I'm clueless.
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. We can do a little research. Maybe during one of our next workshops, we can, find some stats, figure out, in terms of adults and children, what are the stats out there in terms of mental health. So, good question. Any other questions on these resources?
Yeah, is there a paper copy of these?
I believe Junko has a copy of some referrals for you. And Junko's also going to email you all if maybe you feel like the services, you're you're interested in our services, or perhaps if you want to see a psychiatrist, we can refer you to a psychiatrist. And those are folks who can prescribe medication for psychiatric issues. So we're here to support you.
Yeah, this may be a little bit off topic, but could you explain to us about the FCC, like different things that we're supposed to do? Can you explain that?
We are actually not too familiar with the FCC.
Like, is it safe? Like donating money, like things like that. That's not your purview.
The FCC, yeah, is not going to be our purview. Social media is separate from the FCC. FCC is involved with VRS, which is going to be separate from social media. But that's good. I like your curiosity. So maybe you can do a little research.
Who do I ask?
On the FCC? Yeah, you can look it up online. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your question. Okay, any other questions?
I just would like to discuss, like, ways we can come here and socialize, like different themes. Is there a place I could submit suggestions, like a suggestion box? Like, it'd be cool to have like an art night, maybe once a week, or not once a month. Really, we need something more frequent than that. I'd love to brainstorm about that.
Yeah, so we're working on different ideas. We're brainstorming on weekly perhaps support groups. We just started this mental health program, so we're still building towards a lot of services, but we do want to provide some of that for you.
Yeah, support group with different activities. Like a few days ago, I called and I live in like a house for senior citizens, like a center, but I went in and I just felt like it wasn't a good fit for me. I feel like it would be better to be somewhere with a lot more deaf people.
I agree. Communication access is going to be very important. Yeah, we are working on some creative ideas to maybe work on different groups and things like that. So we're working on it. If you have ideas, send them our way, please.
Thank you.
So send us your suggestions. Yeah, we're here to support you.
I have another question, something that's been bothering me recently. I was out on a walk and I saw this worker. We crossed paths and then I kept going and I just didn't really like that interaction. So I want to have a meeting and find a better way instead of like having to cross paths and make room for someone crossing.
Yeah, so maybe that's a boundary to set up with that person.
Is that fine? Like to influence other people where they walk?
Yeah, well, if there's something obvious, like someone's kind of giving you a dirty look, or you just don't like that interaction, yeah. If you feel uncomfortable and you see that person repeatedly, you don't have to kind of like slink away. You can pass them, or you can actually engage with them and say, hey, everything's fine, or not.
Maybe like it's their personality, and maybe, some people are more private and don't want to make eye contact. Well, I would rather, talk to somebody in a room and not just have that interaction in a hallway.
Oh, so maybe an uncomfortable feeling. Yeah, it's a bit awkward. I understand that can be difficult. Okay, one moment. I think we need to wrap up very soon. I want to share this with you as well. So thank you all so much for joining us.
Well, I think before we end, did anyone know that?
Okay, they're checking on the live stream and see if there's any questions that came up in the chat from the live stream. One moment. Reading through the chat, see if there's any comments or questions that we want to read out here. Okay, doesn't look like there's any questions online from the live stream. So, as I was saying, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for interacting and your great suggestions and questions. We really appreciate you. And we'll see you next time. If you do have more questions about the mental health program that we have here, or any workshops, you can contact Junko. You can call her. You can ask to set an appointment with her and see if maybe you can join us. And you're all very welcome. Before you leave, also, we want to give you a survey. Sorry, about this workshop. I said social media. I didn't mean that. So a survey about this workshop, whether you liked it, what you'd like to see in the future, if you have any suggestions for us. So and that's going to be a paper survey. So before we close, I will let Junko close us on out.
Okay, great workshop. Great. We got a lot of benefits from it. I want to thank the presenters. I want to thank you for watching. And just a short closing statement. This morning I was making my coffee, and the first thing I did was look at social media. And after today's workshop, I'm going to be thinking about that. Maybe I need to set aside that time as a break and just enjoy the smell of my coffee, the taste of my coffee, and my toast in the morning. So I perhaps will put my phone aside tomorrow. And I hope you've all learned something from today's presentation. And like Tamara just announced, we do ask for you to go ahead and fill out a survey. We have some papers by the door, by your exit. And if you prefer ASL translation, we are available to support you. The advocates are here standing on the room. The survey is really important because we receive funding for this program from the LA Department of Mental Health, and they have asked us to collect data from the community. So the survey will be confidential, none of your names will be included, so don't worry about that. It's just about your experience from today. It will really help us improve and to keep offering free counseling services from the grant money we receive. So thank you so very much.
So the advocates are available to help you translate that survey. Kat and Michelle are also here, and Damara as well. There's also refreshments in the dining room downstairs. So stop by the dining room, get yourself some food.
We have a California pinwheel. It's a type of sandwich. We have pinwheels downstairs. We have rolls, we have waters, and other drinks available downstairs. So please enjoy, and then enjoy the rest of your day with a full heart and a full belly. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh.
Oh. Perfecto.